All right. Today we're talking about 11.3 Pythagorean Theorem. We've already sort of talked about it previously, the week before, or a couple of days before the Terra Nova test, but obviously we want to cover it in more detail today. The Pythagorean Theorem works on right triangles. Okay, it only works on right triangles. Okay, it is a formula, okay, that is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And what that is depicting is this. If I have a right triangle, you have an A, a B, and a C side. It does matter where the C is. The C is always opposite of the 90-degree angle. Okay? We call this the hypotenuse. Okay? So it doesn't matter what the triangle looks like. Okay? The hypotenuse or the C side is opposite of the 90-degree angle. Okay, it's always opposite of the 90-degree angle. Now, the A and B doesn't matter. Okay, I can make either one of the other, what they call the legs of the triangle, A or B. Okay, so this here could be A, and this could be B. Doesn't matter, because they're both on the side of the Pythagorean. They're both on the same side of the Pythagorean theorem. Okay. The theorem basically says this. If I take the two legs and square them, add them together, then that will equal the hypotenuse, or the third side, squared. Now, when I have, for example, let's say that we had a triangle, and let's say this triangle was 9 feet, 12 feet, and C is missing. Okay? Then what they're basically saying is to find C, to find that, I have to do this. 9 squared plus 12 squared is going to be equal to C squared. Okay, well, what is 9 squared? 81. 12 squared is 144, giving us C squared. And what is it? 225. So 225 is equal to what C squared is. In other words, what C times C is equal to is 225. So to solve it, just like we did the other day, yesterday and the day before, you just simply take the square root of both sides. Square root of C is C, square root of C squared is C, square root of 225, 15. So this side missing is 15 feet long. Okay? Now, there's various applications of this theorem. Okay? There's various applications of this theorem in real-world problems. Okay? We're going to talk about one here in a second. We'll go to it and let you see if we can work it out. But I want to continue for this for just a second. I want you to do this one on your own. Okay? We have a triangle This is centimeters. Once again, I would highly suggest that you have those perfect squares from 1 to 20 memorized. That way you don't have to be flipping back into your notes. Noah, do you have the answer or do you have a question? Okay, hang on. A, B, and C? Is that what you're asking? Doesn't matter. A and B doesn't matter. Because it's the one across from the 90-degree angle. Okay, who has an answer? Noah? 13 centimeters. That is correct. Okay. It is 13 centimeters. So we take A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Just look straight across from the 90 degree, and that lets you know which side we're trying to find. Okay. So A squared we'll say is 12 plus B squared, which is 5 squared, equal C squared. So that's 144 plus 25 equals C squared. That's 169 equal C squared. Take the square root of 169, square root of C squared. That's 13 is equal to C. The square root of any letter squared. So, for example, if I was saying x squared, the square root of x squared would be x, okay? Because x times x would be x squared, okay? Now, let's look at this one. Okay, so now, instead of finding C, we're having to find A or B. To find A or B is exactly the same for each one of those. Okay, if we're trying to find A, doesn't matter, still going to be the same process as we're doing here. Okay, so we plug in our information. Once again, A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Might want to get that formula memorized. 12 squared plus B squared equals 20 squared. Okay, once again, this is A and this is C. So now I have 12 squared is 144 plus B squared equal 400. Now, we did one on the board the other day. It was a little simpler than this, but the bottom line is to solve this, I am adding, so I must subtract 194 from both sides. That cancels, leaving me with B squared equals, what is 400 minus 194? Oh, my bad. Pardon me? What is 400 minus 144, Sling? Yeah, 256. So, now to solve it, we simply take the square root of both sides. So that means B is equal to, what is the square root of 256? Nikki, 16. Now, obviously, if you forgot to do the square root, and you came up here and you said, oh, okay, well, this side's 256 feet. Really? No, it's not. Okay? So they still have to be logical. Okay? Remember, talking about triangles, the two sides, these two sides, A and B, the legs will always be smaller than the hypotenuse. Okay? The other thing that is true about all triangles, if I take and add two of the sides, what's 16 plus 12? 28. It'll always be larger than the third side. Okay, the two sides together, added together, will always be larger than the third side, regardless of what two sides we take. Okay, so we need to make sure that that is obviously true also. All right, so now a little bit more difficult one. You have a triangle. It's 5 inches on one leg, 7 inches on the other leg, and we're trying to find C. Okay? We're trying to find C. All right. Now, same formulas here. The difficulty will lie just a second, and I'll show you. 5 squared plus 7 squared equals C squared. What's 5 squared? 25. What's 7 squared? 49. $25 plus 49 is what? 74. Okay, 74 is equal to C squared. Okay, now, 74 is not a perfect square, so don't look back in your notes. It doesn't help you there. However, we still have to do the same thing. Take the square root, square root. Now, the square root of 74 between the square root of 64 and the square root of 81. It falls in between those two. Square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 81 is 9. So it falls somewhere between 8 and 9. So we ask ourselves, is 74 closer to 81 or 64? 81. So we know then that it is closer to 81. So therefore, we want to use the numbers that are higher than 8.5. Okay, it's more than halfway. Okay, it's 10 away from 64. It's 7 away from 81. So we're looking at the numbers 8.6 probably 8.7. Just a guess. Okay, and that's all this is. This is trial and error. Try to find out which one it's closest to, because they have told us to approximate the lengths to the nearest tenth. Okay, so when you multiply 8.6 times 8.6, what do you get? Emma's row do 8.7 times 8.7. Anybody got me 8.6 times 8.6? Owen? 73.96? Okay. What's 8.7 times 8.7? Somebody on Emma's row. Noah? 75.69. Okay. So, obviously, the 74 then is closest to the 73.96 because it's only 4/100ths away. So therefore our answer then is 8.6. We were at centimeters or inches? Inches. Okay. So we're at 8.6 inches. Celine? Do I know? No, we got 8.6 by estimating that it's going to be 8.6 to 8.7. When we checked the 8.6, it came out to be 73.96, which is 400ths away from 74. So that's what it's the closest one. Because 75.69 would be 1.69 larger than 74. Okay? All right. Let's say they do this. Let's say that they give us A is equal to 7 centimeters. C is equal to 11.2 centimeters. You gotta love that. Okay. So, they didn't give us a triangle. They just listed out the lengths. Okay, you do it the same way. Everything stays the same. Okay, A squared plus B squared plus is equal to C squared. Okay, so that's 7 squared plus B squared equal 11.2 squared. So 7 squared, 49, plus B squared equal 11.2 squared. So 11.2 times 11.2. So that's 4220, 21100, 211. 4, 4, 5, 2, 1. Now I've got 2 decimal places, so 125.44. Okay, now I must take and subtract 49 from both sides. So B squared equals, that's going to be 76.44. Check me on that. I think it's right, but I may have made a mistake. I don't think I did, but be the first one ever, but you know. All right, so b squared equals 76.44. So I have to take the square of it. Well, we've already helped ourselves out. Okay? Because what y'all get is 8.7. What'd you get? 75 point what? 75.69. So up here, we did 8.7 times 8.7, 75.69. Okay? So, I don't know. So, 75.69 is what 8.7 times 8.7 is. So I need somebody to do 8.8 times 8.8. Do what, Anthony? 77.24? Okay, good. Okay, 77.44. Okay, so this is exactly 1 away from that. Okay, this is right below it. Okay, it's right below it. Let's see, it's going to be like 8 something, 0.8 something. Okay, so 8.7 then, our B is equal to 8.7 centimeters. And that's your answer. That's probably the hardest one you have. Okay. But it's basically just manipulating the a squared, b squared, or the c squared, okay, and then coming up with your answer. So your homework is 11.3. One through 12, and 14 through 17. Don't thank me till you get it done. Because there's a lot of, it's just time consuming.
Thank you anyway, sir.
All right, go ahead and get started. Still got about 7 minutes left in class. Maybe we can get a couple of them done. Well, quite a few of them we've already done during class. And so you can at least get those copied out. Tomorrow we'll be doing some more stuff on Pythagorean Theorem, more real-world stuff where you're using it to solve problems. We'll do a couple of those things, and then we'll also review for our test. You will have a test on Thursday. Okay? Test on Thursday. And it will cover 10.5, 10.6, 11.1, 11.2, and 11.3. Now, this is one of the reasons I said you need to have those 1 through 20 memorized. Okay? Obviously, you will not have anything for your test. So if you don't have them memorized, it's going to take you a while on that test to get things done if you can't remember, oh, I've got to multiply out, okay, 15 times 15. Okay, or I've got to multiply out this. You just need to have them memorized. Okay? 1 through 20, and then the 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Okay? We will review for it a little bit tomorrow, but we're also going to do some other stuff.
So the only day you would have tutoring for this is on Thursday morning?
No, you can come tomorrow. I have it on Wednesday. I don't have it on Thursday. I have it Wednesday.